Welcome to another episode of the Two for One podcast. I'm your host, Dion, and as always, my co hosts are here, joining me from Central Jersey, which we did confirm exists, where his Knicks have advanced to the quarterfinals of the Emirates NBA Cup. It is Nate Taylor. Nate, it's good to see you. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. How you doing?
Thanks for like the NBC style. Nate Taylor, College University. Like, like as if my hat doesn't say it. Thanksgiving was good. Actually enjoyed Thanksgiving meal or like a Thanksgiving meal for once. I'm usually like meh, like Thanksgiving food. I think it's overrated.
Hmm,
Um, my mom made a mean ass turkey with some great skin,
there you
and
go.
stuffing was on point. Can't complain. I don't
Well
eat a
done.
lot of
Now,
Thanksgiving
who
food.
who carves the turkey in the Taylor household?
My mom and no one else is
Oh,
touching the food. Fuck, like
interesting.
they're
Okay.
not trust. My dad will burn down the kitchen if he touches any kitchen utensils. My dad made me a grilled cheese growing up and nothing else. He was not capable of. My dad
Hmm.
does a lot of things well. Cooking is not one of them.
All right, understood. Well, also joining me from the land of maple syrup, where his Toronto Raptors have also advanced to the quarterfinals, is Mitchell Sider. Mitch, your Thanksgiving was about a month ago, but I hope you're having a great weekend as well. How are you doing?
Oh, thankful for the American friends on the other side of the
You're
screen
an
here.
honorary American if you even want to be that at the moment.
Hey, we'll shelf the potential citizenship.
All right,
We'll circle back in the new year, see how things are trickling out.
There you go. It's probably the smart
probably won't
decision.
be any good, any better.
Yeah, yeah. Well. Look, fellas, we're just over 1 month into the season, so I thought it'd be fun for us to give out some early awards for the year. We're not gonna do, we're not talking about MVP or Rookie of the Year, things of that nature. These are just made up awards that I have come up with, and we're gonna hand out starting with an award that I actually wish did exist as an actual
Well,
thing.
sorry to interject, but before we get into the awards, I'm
Whoa!
actually going to be introducing a little new,
Oh, all
tiny
right.
mini segment here. It's going to be called Nate's Nugget of the Day. And I'm not talking about chicken nuggets. Haha.
But
Talking
tis.
about stat nuggets. So it's going to be just pulling out a random stat that you're not going to see every day, something that got buried or lost in the X Files. I don't know. But for today, we're going to start out with Dion Celtics.
Ooh.
And obviously we know, or if you are following basketball heavily, you know that the Pistons were on a 13 game win streak. They had that snapped by the Boston Celtics. And that marked the 16th time that the Celtics stopped a 10-game win streak or more, which tied the Blazers for the most since the shot clock era began in 1954 and 1955 season. So if you want us to go back to all of these streaks that they've stopped, the last one was the Cavaliers' 15-game win streak that came in last season. So the Celtics in back-to-back years breaking the big early season
Hmm.
streak by the top teams in the East.
Very interesting. Oh, okay.
Lucky the Leprechaun, the Heartbreaker. What a guy.
I guess so. Very interesting. All right, I like that. I like that. Now, do you have a source? I feel like you have to at least cite
Yes,
where
I
you
do. I
got
do
this
have a
at.
source. This is NBA Crazy Stats on Twitter. They are a page that I've found to be reliable time and time again. They've done stuff for a few years. Go give them a follow actually because they don't have enough followers on Twitter. So yeah, just at NBA
Source, Mr.
Crazy
Sherman,
Stats.
it's an NBA game. It happened. Like,
It happened.
what are you fucking stupid or something, dude?
Trust
Like, come on.
sources. Trust me, bro.
So the Celtics have snapped 16 10-plus game winning streaks, and that you said it tied the Blazers for the most ever?
Yep, since the shot clock era began in 54, 55.
Very interesting. I wonder who's had the most 10-game win streaks ever. That would be an interesting one to
That
know.
I do
But
not have in front of me at the moment. But the
that's okay.
first win streak that the Celtics snapped was the Warriors back in 1959.
Oh,
They went on a 10-game win streak. So
wow. That's like pre-will. I couldn't name you a single body off of that roster. But wow, okay, that's interesting. I like that. All right, way
maybe
to
like
get us
one of
started.
your long lost relatives or someone.
Probably, yeah, most likely. But yeah, like I was saying, going over some fake awards. So not MVP, not Rookie of the Year, anything like that. But just some stuff I made up. And like I said, we'll start with something that I wish was a real thing in the NBA, and it is the most improved team. So obviously we have the most improved player award, but I think every year there's more than one deserving candidate of some recognition for being most improved. So I figured we'd come up with our all improved first team for the first month or so of the season. Now we know the NBA has done away with positions on ballots like these ones, but I wanted to create basically like a starting lineup of the most improved players since the start of the season. So Mitch, I go to you first. Is there anyone that you feel like is an absolute shoe and an absolute lock for this all improved team?
Um, I mean, absolute lock is a bit
No, I have
much
it. There.
because there's a couple that are like, okay, the
Mhm.
start to the season could be very well not what they play like for the rest of the year. So I mean, like, could I be a cop out and say like Tyrese Maxey is on that list? Could I
Yes.
say that that is like a
Yes,
an,
he's
an
on my
early
list for
bird?
sure.
All right.
You're jinxing your Raptors, by the way. It's not to cut you off, but they're up by one now, and the Hornets have a chance for a second free throw to tie the game with 18 seconds
Whoa,
left.
whoa. 10
I
points
have not
collapsed in the last few minutes there.
the word Raptors hasn't left my mouth once this podcast, so it's like
No, no, no,
I don't know
not
what
it's
you're referring to.
no, no. Oh, sorry, we had a little conversation earlier before we
Yeah,
get to
yeah. So
the
right
win
now you just
streak.
look schizophrenic as fuck because I haven't mentioned the Raptors once.
True, true. I
Yeah,
am schizophrenic
yeah.
actually. Okay, well, Miles Bridges,
Back
I
to
think
the
missed.
podcast that's currently happening.
Yes, but I felt that was relevant. This is a basketball podcast. I happened to mention a basketball score. I think for me, a lock, if you have to talk about a lock and the guy who, if he keeps this up at the pace he's at, should be the guy who wins the award because I think he is the epitome of what this award means. And that's Ryan Rollins
Mm.
because he is a guy who was cut from multiple teams, floated around, didn't find a spot until he gets forced into this starting point guard role for Milwaukee, and he's been one of the better point guards in the league so far this season. I don't know that he's going to continue to average 18 and 6, but I think that he can still give you a cool 15 and 5 on solid shooting. I think with the eye test so far, I see too much with Ryan Rollins for me to think that this is just a little hot streak. The dude is a really good basketball player. He's a smart basketball player, and he plays off of Giannis perfectly. So I think if I have one lock, he's the only guy who I would say has to be on that team.
Yeah, I think Rollins, like, yeah, he might not end up 18, 4 and 6, but like we've seen enough now to this point. The 20 games he's played, and I mean, he was starting for them by the end of last season too, and he was looking decent, and he was pretty
Yeah.
good in the playoffs. So yeah, I think this is like pretty close to who Ryan Rollins is. Those two guys were definitely on my list. I think the other lock has to be Jalen Duren. Obviously, he's been in and out a little bit of the lineup, so we'll see how many games he ends up playing as far as like him actually winning the award by the end of the season. But for me, so far, 20 games in, I think he's absolutely got to be. I want to say he is the betting favorite right now for MIP. I feel like he's definitely got to be
I
on
thought
this.
Denny was.
Could be. I'll have to look it up again, but no, it is indeed Duran.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's got to be him. I mean, he's clearly taking the leap. I think on both sides of the ball, really. Like
He's
I feel like
shooting
we've
like
talked.
pull up middies.
Yeah, no, it's not even that he's just kind of like improved on a player that he was. He's really expanded to his game. Like we talked a lot in years past about just how kind of like lost he was defensively, just looked a little bit clueless. He's taken a huge step forward on that end, and like you said, just like expanding his offensive arsenal. I feel like he's definitely like the one big man on this list that kind of like stands out in front of everyone.
I would say Duran's like the intangibles and the physical tools were always going to make up some gap of that when he put them all together. And I think it's just a matter of like his body's catching up to his brain
Yeah.
where because he's always and I know this might be a crazy take, but it's always like seeing like a 17-year-old drive a Camaro for the first time, right? You're like, okay, the kid behind the wheels of this crazy sports car just clearly doesn't have everything. He doesn't have the reps in. He doesn't know what he's like piloting.
Hmm.
Now it looks like he's actually like, oh, I'm experienced. I know how to basically get to where my spots are while I'm thinking about it. Because a lot of the times, and I don't mean to say that he was the strong word I would say is like he was at best a rim deterrent in years prior. Like there was nothing like you'd go, oh yeah, he's a big body, and I might not want to go straight up on him. But now you're a little hard pressed to get within three
Yeah,
feet of the
let me
rim
take
when
a
he's down
detour
low.
here after I get
Yeah,
into the paint. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, he's been really impressive. I feel like he has.
I
is oh
I
sorry, no, go ahead.
I really hate to make the one for one comparisons, but I just see Dwight Howard like all over him. I mean, I think it's just the body and how he moves. Maybe not necessarily his entire game.
I
I mean,
think
he's not this.
honestly, I think he's more advanced offensively
No, I was
Howard
gonna say
probably
I
ever
think
was, to be
you
honest.
take away some of the defense you added to his offense. He has
Mhm.
better touch and better capabilities of putting the ball in the basket. Like Dwight was never shooting outside of 5 feet, and Duran's already a better shooter than he ever was, unless you're talking about like late in his career. But I think in the way that they can dominate with their verticality is very similar to the way that Dwight did and the way Dwight averaged 22 from dunks alone, pretty much.
Mhm.
He's just I'm mesmerized by his frame because there's no guys that don't look at me like that. I tried to say it in the least suspect way as
No, it's all right.
possible,
It's all right, man.
but Duran, no one, he's built like a fridge and he can jump 35 inches. Like, it's pretty ridiculous to watch. I think when you pair him with Cade, there isn't a better big right now you could probably put next to a guy like CC.
Yeah, no, and I really liked his decision making in the short roll too. I don't really think the assist numbers reflected last time I
No,
checked,
but
but
he's gotten
yeah, the
better with his
decision making
passing.
has been great. Just faster, more precise. It looks great. Other two
He's a
guys,
more connective tissue guy in terms of the
yes,
short roll, which is the
100%.
most important one. Before you say the other two guys, Is one of them Austin Reeves?
One of them is Austin Reeves. Yes,
Okay,
we're
good.
very much on
Okay,
the
good.
same page here, fellas. I like it. Yeah, Austin Reeves
Yeah,
is
I think
definitely
we
taking the
pretty much
next
have the
step.
same exact team.
Yeah, I imagine there's a caca hawk filling out
I was
the
gonna say
lineup.
Jalen Johnson
Yes,
also
sir.
needs to be
That's the
mentioned
one.
there, but
Yeah, no, that's my five. Maxey, Rollins, Reeves, Jalen Johnson, and Duran. I think that
I'm
feels
cool with
pretty
that.
clear. Like there's one guy, like
Oh, Denny. Well, Denny also has a shout.
yeah,
Denny's like
Denny
the
was like the one
honorable.
guy where I was like, well, he kind of turned it on last year, and he's continuing on that path. But I feel like we saw a lot of this in the second half of last season. So I gave other guys the nod because I feel like Jalen Johnson, with the amount of time he missed last year, it wasn't necessarily like a guarantee he was going to build on that, but he looks even better. Whereas Denny, just like I think he's just continuing on the trajectory. So Denny, if I had to come up with a second team, Denny's like definitely going to be my first name. But
Yeah, I would agree. I would switch, or I would argue you could switch him and maybe Duran, but I would also not push heavily for it.
And the other guys like I considered, like I feel like AJ Mitchell has to get a little bit of that like minus bump because he is a second year guy. So like
Yeah, I was gonna
traditionally,
Yes, but like I
say.
don't. How much did he improve? Because he just didn't play really as a rookie,
yeah.
so we
So
don't
that
know.
he's a name that has to get thrown into this conversation. But yeah, that's the reason why I didn't have him in my top five,
Yeah.
so to speak. And then I just wanted to have just a quick Homer corner for a second. I want to shout out my guy Josh Minot because he went from being like a hardly playable type of player to like he's
Well, he's
legitimately in the Celtics rotation.
no. Well, he's back to being hardly playable. He's not playing again, really.
No, I mean he played tonight. He looked pretty solid. I mean
I was
obviously
literally
he's
watching a press conference where they were asking Brad Stevens why his minutes, what happened to his minutes.
Yeah, I mean they've been experimenting more. Jordan Walsh has been playing more. Jordan Walsh actually looks like an NBA player now. He went from being like arguably one of the worst rostered players in
Josh
the NBA to
Dobbs.
like he's
He looked
decent.
like a
He
cool
started
G
tonight.
League guy to like an actual player.
Yeah, he's
Like
like
that's so
actually
fun to
like
me.
a rotation NBA player now, it seems. So yeah, that's part of it. But I just think I just wanted to have a quick homer corner because Josh Minot. I had really low expectations when they signed him and Garza. My heart, I was at a bad point as a Celtics fan
Now
because
let's talk
he's been
about
good.
Garza.
No, although he is shooting like 42% from three, which is pretty cool. But
Yeah, he can do that, but
other than that, yeah, no, that's enough Luka Garza talk. But yeah, I mean, maybe like Josh Giddey could get thrown into the convo. I guess he's kind of like still in the
yeah,
betting odds,
Giddy
but
could. Yeah, you can throw Giddy too.
similar to Denny though. Like we saw this at the second half of last season. But
Um, yeah, I agree. I think him,
any
him and Denny
other,
were like you saw the glimpses already, or all these
yeah.
other guys have pretty much turned it up in a complete another notch.
I guess
That they just
we should also shout out Dennis Jenkins. I don't know. I think
no.
he only played like 12 games last year, but he still kind of counts, right?
That's what I'm
No,
saying. Did he? Yeah, but he didn't play. Like how you can't
how many games
improve
did he
from
see?
not playing.
He played all of 7 games last year. He's up to 14 this season.
Yeah,
So
and they're already honestly, the Pistons' last two losses, I was kind of annoyed that he didn't play more because they
mm,
could have used an extra creator off the bench, and he just kind of sat there. Every other sport seems to ride the hot hand except for basketball, and it's really annoying because you'll see a guy who's filling in for a starter or filling in for a guy who's a top end bench player, and then as soon as that other guy comes back, it's like okay, your minutes are gone, you're
mm.
not playing anymore. Um, it's just
You got to
annoying.
justify the $45 million a year.
Exactly. But the thing is, like in football, the Bears weren't afraid to start Josh McCown over Jay Cutler back when I was like 12 years old. So
What a random
that's all
example
that I
you
think
went with.
of.
That was a very specific example, but
Oh my God.
anyone
The
else
Raptors.
stand out? Oh, God.
Never mind. Never mind. I
The
don't.
Raptors win?
They're pissing me off.
No,
No.
Knuppel hit a corner three, and Ingram decided to go. Well, surely he won't shoot this
Yes.
bitch.
Okay. But yes, Scotty Barnes lead taking two.
Hmm.
I need them to win.
Can I
I
just
got
say? Can I
Heat
just
with
say?
Pistons on my screen.
Charlotte, the jerseys they're wearing right now.
Are they the orange ones?
Yes,
Oh.
if somebody ran onto the court and lit them all on fire, nobody would mind.
No.
These are some of
They're
the worst fucking
horrid.
things. They
It's
are
also like who
disgusting.
decide is maybe I probably just didn't look into them or read what they stand for because most jerseys have like of those jerseys have a meaning. But where did that color combination come from? What does that have to do with the Hornets?
Literally
It's like
no
sun
clue.
kissed. It's
It's
like
awful.
Sunny
It
D.
is like easily the worst jersey of all the
It's like
series.
if Sunny D sponsored the Charlotte
It's
Hornets
yeah,
to sell orange juice.
I got nothing on that one to be honest. Moving on to the next award though. It is the League Pass favorite. I feel like I could come up with a better name than that, but just our favorite team to watch this season. Besides obviously our own favorite team. I think Mitch we went first last time. So Nate, your League Pass favorite for the season. I think I know the answer, but go ahead.
Do you know the answer? Who do you think it is?
It's your second favorite team.
No, they've been really annoying to watch at
Oh,
times this
okay,
season.
gotcha.
Dude, they lost to the Kings the other night and blew a 10-point lead in 2 minutes.
Hmm.
This is not the Timberwolves. I think actually, I don't want to be not even say
I
this to
was
be
referring to
different
the
to be.
Rockets, not the Timberwolves.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, the Rockets. I like the Rockets, but I want to go with a team that I wasn't expecting to do as joy as much as I have, And that was the team that you talked about a lot before this season. That's the Portland Trailblazers.
Hey,
And I know that the
hey,
Trailblazers
let's
haven't been
go.
um, the best as of lately because of the injuries they've had, and Drew has been out for some time. And I think once they get him back, it'll be a lot better. Scoot hasn't even played this season. But fucking Kling Kong, man, I
Oh yeah.
love him. He is so good. And he's one of those guys that's going to be a walking top 10 defense probably for his entire career. He is so quick on his feet compared to a Rudy Gobert. He's not quick on his feet, but his reaction timing down low he's smart. He doesn't gamble for blocks that he shouldn't go for. He can test without fouling for the most part. I mean, he's
Yeah.
obviously picks up the fouls where he picks up the fouls. He's a 7'2" guy that people attack. It happens. But offensively, he shot some threes this year, which I did not expect to really see at all from him. His offensive game has just been better overall. He's actually been a pretty good passer as well. I've been impressed with his post playmaking ability. I think that's really opened up a lot, especially for Denny, who likes to cut in and drive with reckless abandon. Same with Shaden, even though the ball's in Shaden's hand and it doesn't really leave it a lot of the times that
Yeah.
it's in his hand. Even though that can be fun though at times because Shaden has had moments this season where he does look like Tracy McGrady, and it's like, holy shit, this guy is one of the most electric players in the league, and it's like I love watching this. I just think overall they play hard. They have a bunch of really young, exciting players in Shaden and Denny, and Tamani Kamara. I love watching playing defense. He's one of my favorite players to watch play defense in the whole league. So you have him and Kling Kong defensively. I just really like everything that this team does. I mean, Tiago Splitter, whatever you took from Chauncey Billups and you're doing now, just keep doing it. I think it'll work its way out. I still think the Blazers are going to be a play-in team, even though they've struggled lately, and I do really like watching them.
Yeah.
So
Shout out to
yeah,
Drew Holiday as well, even though he's been hurt for some of the stretch here.
he
Like,
was really good when he's been playing.
yeah. Yeah, no, they've been great. I think
Am I,
like
who else am I missing though on the Blazers that I didn't give love to? I mean, Jeremy Grant's been cool too because he's been kind of a resurgence. Jeremy Grant's decided he likes to play basketball again, so that's good.
yeah, that's crazy how just effort can make such a difference there. I think you hit all the key points. I mean, shout out to Caleb Love being an NBA player. I don't
Oh
think
yeah,
any of us
Caleb
expected
Love
that.
is actually a good NBA player. He was pulling off from like 30 feet the other night with
I don't
most
know.
of
He's
their
not.
guys out.
I don't know. I was go as far as to say he's a good NBA player, but he certainly is an NBA player
No,
because
I don't know. I think
right?
I see Jordan Clarkson like not Jordan Clarkson, but the type of you need a guy on your
Yeah.
team who can
Okay.
light it up for 15 and 5 minutes. I think there's a role for Caleb Love in the NBA for like
Okay.
a legit role, not just two-way bent under the bench guy.
Yeah.
Confidence goes so far.
It does. And if we're gonna dig even further to the absolute bottom of the barrel with the Blazers, I've been surprised with City Sissoko. He's started a few games for them. Shout out to him. He was, cut by the Spurs. So shout out to the Blazers for getting something out of him. But Mitch, you're a league pass favorite.
It's gonna be a weird one because I normally hate everything about what their identity has been in the past 3 years, but the Miami Heat have been
Oh,
a
good
very
choice.
surprising
That was
team. Whether it be the return of Hero and him immediately being like, this team needs me to score, I'm gonna come out and score. Whether it be Norman Powell somehow, some way having like the best possible scoring punch that he's ever had at this late in his career. I don't know if it's like me being like, oh man, Norm, remember when all you could do was drive at a 45-degree angle to the basket and spot up in the corner? Seeing him kind of sauce now is just like, man, look how far you've come. Jaime Jaquez Jr. Now, regardless of whatever whack ass rotation that Miami runs night in and night out, the constant is that the identity of Miami without Jimmy Butler might not be the same as like the grit and grind and put your nose down, but they're still a very scrappy team.
Hmm.
They're still a team where you're like, fuck me, I'm gonna catch elbows down low.
Oh, I will.
Where's gonna fucking clear out like this? Norm's gonna give me a little chicken wing on drives. Like it's a team where you're like, hey, some dudes got a YMCA team together and they seem to be gelling really well and they're winning NBA games.
Yeah, I got to be honest. If this is not the year that Eric Spoelstra finally takes home Coach of the Year, I don't even like. We need to just hang it up. Just hang up
Can
the award. Like
can
it's
we talk about too
Jesus
how
Christ.
what's Jesus Christ?
Sorry, Colin Sexton decided to give the best Black Mamba fan I've ever seen to make it his
Mm.
entire life.
Oh my God, it's 108 to 114. What
Yeah, I don't
happened?
know if you've been seeing the shots that Charlotte has been hitting.
Dude,
They should right now sign Colin Sexton to a supermax because that's
this is
fucking insane.
this is my fault for placing US currency on the Raptors, Mitch. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I
So
made them
much, so much
lose.
for the 10-game win streak.
Sexton
Um,
is literally at like a 45-degree angle over Ingram, and he just goes, "Yes, I'm him." It's like you don't hit that shot, brother. I don't know what to tell you.
um, Anyways,
No,
but
the
what
Heat
were
were a fantastic pick.
Oh, yeah, because we were talking about, remember last year, was it last year, the year before that we talked a little bit about is Eric Spoelstra not the top coach anymore? Or is he lower than he used to be on the coaching tier list because of like the mishaps of the timeout and the questionable
Yeah, that was last
rotations
season.
and the not willing to play Khalil Ware. Oh yeah, I guess he wasn't willing to play Khalil Ware with Bam until the end. But Spo is right back to being the best coach in the NBA, and I think his willingness and ability to adapt to his talent is second to none in the league because the Heat went from being this slow, beat you up, try to control the tempo at a very low level. That's what the Heat have been kind of for years with the rotation and same core of undrafted role players plus Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo that they've been running for how long. But now this year, they're the fastest team in the NBA. They're scoring at a crazy rate. They got in all these guys who like to get out and shoot the ball. Andrew Wiggins and Norm Powell are playing the best basketball that they've played in like a very long time. I mean, Norm Powell was great last season too, but Wiggins is back to his Golden State Warriors form. And I just think the way that the Heat have completely changed, like no team is as different from what they looked like last year than Miami.
For sure. Yeah, and a lot of that credit goes to obviously Spo, but also to Noah LaRoche, one of their new hires, one of their new assistant coaches. He was the guy, or one of the guys, along with I don't even know how to say the Grizzlies head coach name, Iasola. I honestly don't.
Liswola.
Solos, but
Liswola? Yeah, I
but
don't
Noah
know.
LaRoche was one of the two guys that really changed the Grizzlies' offense last year, and he's come over to Miami and done a very similar thing, where it's just way less pick and roll, just a lot more self-creation. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun to watch. Miami has historically been one of my least favorite league pass teams throughout the seasons. They're usually like a horrible
Like
regular season
painstaking
watch.
to watch.
Yeah, like just absolutely abominable offense, and then just like the most grinded out, just not that enjoyable to watch defense. But yeah, they've completely flipped the switch this season, and it'll be interesting to see how much Hero impacts that. I feel like he can fit in just fine, but like, is he going to be willing to? Will be like the thing to watch. But yeah, that's a great pick, Mitch. I would say the only reason I didn't pick them is because I just didn't watch them a lot coming into the season. I just didn't expect them to be this good, so I'm kind of like catching up late. But great choice there,
It
as he
just
just
something
he's
happened.
in absolute agony. What happened, Mitch?
They
What
just
happened?
dry humped quickly on a straight line drive. Didn't call it a clear path, and then they get a timeout right after. That's insane. Oh, Charlotte, you deserve this win. This is a win deserved by Charlotte for sure.
All right, now to get to my League Pass favorite team, I had to go with the Windy City Chicago Bulls. Not because they are necessarily the best team in the league, but because they just tend to play a lot of very entertaining games. It's not the
Okay.
prettiest of basketball. All right,
Mm.
Nate, don't make that face at me. I
No, they
just
fucking stink.
no, I didn't pick them because I think they're a very good team. Just because they seem to play just a lot of very close games. Like they had that double overtime game against the Jazz, the 3-point win over Denver, and then the 1-point win over Portland, all in a row. That was a very fun stretch. I call all three of those games. But just in general, I think they're just fun to watch. They shoot a ton of threes. They are second in the entire league in pace, only to Mitchell's Miami Heat. And I think it's just enjoyable. I like watching Giddy run the show. The Kobe White addition has been nice. He's come in and he's immediately like just the Kobe White we all expected. Didn't take him any time to get ready there. And it's just been a fun team, save for one
You know
individual
why?
that Nate doesn't like,
No, you don't know why. Wait, what? What individual? Who don't I like?
Isaac Okoro.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah, he's
Um,
he's a kind of a painful watch
well,
sometimes,
yeah,
but
he's just like actually just a bad player, and for whatever reason, he still gets minutes. Yeah. Well, actually, no, I know why he gets minutes because they give up 124 points a game. That's why I don't like watching them because they don't play any defense at all. At the beginning
well,
of the season, you saw, the Bulls' offensive intensity. It's being matched a little bit on the defensive end, and then the having Vucevic as your starting center thing kind of leveled. You know,
hmm,
everything came back to where it's supposed to be, the balance.
yeah,
They give up like they score 121 points a game. That's awesome. How do you give? How are you supposed to be a playoff team when you give up almost 125
yeah.
a night?
That I don't have the answer to. But as far as just entertaining me on a Tuesday night, like they're often that team. So I really enjoyed them. I've just happened to also catch a lot of their games. I think because like they're still on like East Coast time, but not like necessarily the first tip of the day. Usually I miss like the beginning of those 7 o'clock starts. So I think it just kind of lines up with my schedule. I just happen to watch them a lot, but they just play a lot of close games. They're interesting to watch. They're a fun offensive team. And yeah, no, the defense is not great, but like I said, that leads to a lot of close games. So that's my pick. But moving on here, we have my favorite award, I think, the Aaron Gordon Award. This goes to the player who is the best fit on their new team that they joined over the offseason. So obviously, Aaron Gordon landed in Denver in a trade, but as soon as he got there, it was just a seamless fit. He's been An entirely different player since he got there. So that is the inspiration behind the award. Mitch, I'll let you kick this one off.
I'm gonna go and shout out my Canadians for a sec because Nikhil Alexander Walker has looked
Mm,
man possessed in a Hawks uniform. I don't know what, like, obviously you can point to, more opportunity, I guess you could say that he was, kind of used as a
Incorrectly.
as a I want to just downplay what he was doing in Minnesota because like he was still like a very like potent role player, but very clearly like giving him more leash, giving him more opportunity, more touches. The dude's put I mean like just for anybody not paying attention out there, he's almost at 20 points a game. All
hmm
right. Nikhil Alexander Walker is averaging 19.3 points a game, which is fucking bananas to think that a career, I think nine or like
Yeah,
eight
career
a
nine.
game score was at like is now just busting onto the scene for Atlanta. Now, don't get me
Bust.
wrong. Don't get me wrong. Atlanta as a whole is still a very rocky boat, but like having somebody who, is A, available, still a defensive stud, and now producing almost 20 a game offensively, like you just we talk about these 3 and D wings that don't grow on trees, and they seem to just like pluck him out of thin air away from Minnesota. So it's like, good job, Atlanta. You did one thing correctly, and now you just got to figure out the rest of your roster.
Mhm.
And then Trey Young comes back and he'll be down to 10 points a game.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, he's gotten to start a lot now with the absence of Trey. That
I actually almost picked him for one of the other awards that we have. I
hmm.
won't spoil anything.
Okay, interesting, interesting. You know, he's been a fantastic addition, and they've really needed it because, like, as much as I think we all love Dyson on this pod, he wasn't going to be the one to like take over the duties in Trae Young's absence. So they definitely needed someone to step up, and Nikhil's been that guy. So shout out to him. Yeah, it was a good pick, but
He's
kind of under
another
the radar
fun
too. Like, I
watch.
don't think a lot of people realize he's averaging over 19 a game right now.
Yeah. And he was averaging 16, 3, and 4 with Trey in the 5 games that they played. So there's a
Hmm.
small sample size,
No,
but at
yeah,
least
I was kidding about that. Just for all the Trey lovers out there, I was just
fuck
kidding.
Trey Young.
I've been trying
Oh,
not to.
If you're a Trey lover, I hate you. Not Trey Young specifically, but you as a person. Yeah, you know who you are.
Wow.
You're like,
Okay.
oh, I love Trey Young. Guess what? He's worse than Emmanuel quickly.
Ooh, wow, bars. I think the Wizards game was a nice like reality check of like, okay, maybe this team's not just flat out better without him. But it's hard to not lean into like the Hawks are better without Trae Young because I mean we all three of us have made it very clear how we feel about him over the years. So yeah, shout out to Alexander Walker though. He's been very good. One thing I really liked is just I feel like he's just attacking the rim way more. Like I
well,
was
that's what I was gonna say. Is he plays similarly to his cousin? Not obviously as good as SGA, but he's a wiggler. He likes to
yeah.
wiggle his way to the basket. He uses the weird angles where it's really hard to block his shot and angling his body. And I'm almost 100% sure that's something he'd probably learn from SGA, unless they're just in their DNA to move that way. But yeah, he's a legit guy who I thought of as he's a nice guy who is a really good defender and not bad enough offensively that he's going to hurt you, but he's not really going to add a ton. He'll be someone that he'll hit a couple shots. He can put the ball on the floor a little bit. But now I'm looking at him as someone that has to be a core piece of this team going forward because I don't think this is even the best that he can be at. I think he can be even better if he was allowed even more of a leash.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't see why not. Who's your pick though, Nate, for the Aaron Gordon Award of
Oh,
2020?
for the Aaron Gordon Award, I went with Jonas Valanciunas
Hmm.
because we talked about him uh, probably I don't know. We've definitely talked about him on one of the
Yeah.
other pod episodes. I know we made the post about him, but he's just been the perfect backup big for Jokic. The Nuggets are as good, if not better, than I expected them to be. He's been a huge part of that. Their bench is a lot better because of Valanciunas. He's playing under 20 minutes a game, like 13, 14 minutes a game, and still giving you 9 and 5. He has been pretty much the perfect backup for Jokic. I don't really have a ton more to say about that other than JV is exactly everything we could have hoped for and more, and therefore the Nuggets have been. So I'm not giving him all that credit, but he's definitely helped.
For sure. Yeah, another Nugget. That's a good choice. I definitely considered him, but I wanted to try to avoid picking another Nugget just for the sake
Yeah,
of.
I got you. So I'll the Nuggets are my doing today.
All right, there you go. Well, for
Nuggets.
my choice, I was stuck between two, but I think the one I'm going to go with is just the better, more impactful player, and that is Dylan Brooks of the Phoenix Suns. Now, obviously, he was a very valuable piece of last year's Houston Rockets team, But I think they've obviously done a great job in replacing him. But what he's been able to do coming into Phoenix, just reinvigorating the team's entire identity. Like I think he's probably the biggest sole individual reason why the Suns have turned things around. Because I think you can point to like Booker playing better, but I think a lot of that has to do with having guys in the locker room like Dylan Brooks who just take shit seriously. Like last year's Suns team was just so unserious on a fundamental level. I think a lot of that has to do with guys like Bradley Beal. Replacing him with someone like Dylan Brooks just changes the level of seriousness on a day-to-day basis. And I think, he's also averaging a career high in points per game this season, so he's obviously like been good on the court as well. Three's not really falling right now, but I just think Dylan Brooks has done so much for the Suns team turning around their season.
I was gonna say, did you? I forget whose podcast it was on. Did you hear Matt Ishbia talking about Dylan Brooks and basically saying how he's changed their entire culture? He's one of those guys that just he already did it. He was talking about how he'd done it before with Houston and Memphis. Like Dylan Brooks is that Draymond-esque player without getting the suspensions and all the technicals and all the extra off the court bullshit that comes along with it.
Only some of it.
Where
Only some of that.
I mean, yeah, but it's definitely less than Draymond by
Yeah, yeah,
even
yeah.
Dylan Brooks is probably like number two or three on that list, and it's still a significant gap from where
Yeah.
Draymond is at number one. So I think Dylan Brooks is someone that all of his teammates like too, which is an important part of it. Is all of the Suns teammates have talked about how important he's been. Devin Booker's been open about how important Dylan Brooks has been in post games, and he just has a whole vibe about him that changes what a team feels like. When you go to play the Suns anymore, it's not an easy night for you. It's not a night off where you're going to be like, okay, we can kind of coast to get a win against this team. Effort is such a huge part of basketball, and so many of the good teams fail to realize that. Hence why I get very frustrated with the Knicks a lot because they give some of the worst effort I've seen from a team that's as talented as they are from any of the groups out there. And
Mhm.
that's why I'm so impressed by the Thunder with how much talent they have and how much they still give a shit. Watching this Suns team with Dylan Brooks, they just feel invigorated. They feel like they want it more than a lot of the other teams they're playing. I think you saw that in the game where they beat the Timberwolves the other night, where they just wanted it more down the stretch. They locked in. They were playing really hard nosed, gritty defense, and they were turning it into points. Dylan Brooks is the start of all of that. This whole identity now that the Phoenix Suns have, as great as Devin Booker is, Dylan Brooks is the heart of everything they're doing at this moment.
100%. Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun to watch because that's the team, and I'll bring them up later. It's a team that I had very low expectations for, and they're actually a very competitive team right now. So a lot of that I think has to do with him. So yeah, he had to be my pick. I also wanted to shout out Duncan Robinson, who I just saw make a layup here. Oh, and they get the steal too. But yeah, I think Duncan Robinson has been a very nice fit. I don't think he's as good as Dylan Brooks. That's why I didn't ultimately go with him. But I just wanted to shout him out. Playing the highest minutes per game of his career at 32 this season. Back up to like the same level of scoring production or beyond from when he like first broke out with Miami, because obviously he had like a hot rise into the league, kind of dipped down a little bit, cooled off, but he's been really good this season as pretty much a full-time starter for them. So shout out to Duncan Robinson as well. Now, if we were doing the anti-Aaron
Oh,
Gordon award,
I was gonna say, I don't know. Call me crazy right now. I just wanted to go back to Brooks for a second. I was trying to hash it out in my head. If you stopped today and made the All Star teams, I think he's on it.
you think Dylan Brooks is a Western Conference All-Star?
I
I
be
think
if you're
that is
That
insane,
no,
but
I
you
think
can
I
have
think you after the pod take about 5 to 10 minutes to hash out the list, and you'll quickly get to 12
yeah.
before you get to Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
so you're right. I want him. I love when there's a case to make for the All Star who's not an All Star who should maybe be an All Star because of the impact that they've had.
You got to make the Norm
Like the
Powell,
Goran
get
Dra-
the
like the
Norm
Goran
Powell campaign
Dragic.
started then.
Yeah, it's he's gonna be one of those guys that you want to give it to him, but you can't put him over some of the other guys.
Hmm.
But the other thing we didn't mention for him is he's shooting 55% from 2 point range this season. He's shooting the best he's ever shot from the field, and he's shooting one of the worst he's ever shot from three, which is a huge improvement because Dylan Brooks has always been one of those guys who can't consistently make his layups or anything inside of the 3 point line, and
Hmm.
he's done that this year. So just one more little pat on the back
Including that
to Dylan
one
Brooks.
absolute leaner. He was like at
The
full
the Peter
horizontal.
Griffin, the
Yeah,
green
yeah.
thing I won't say meme.
Yes, yes, exactly. What I
All
was gonna say,
right.
if we're doing the anti-Aaron Gordon award, I think it has to go to Tyus Jones of the Orlando Magic because he's picked up a little bit after having like one of the worst starts in NBA history, but it still has been quite a disaster.
He's
So just
still
had to slide
awful.
that one in there. I like Tyus Jones, but he had to catch a stray there.
Yeah,
But
so
next
so
up,
better
oh,
better is 2.1 points per game, 30% from the field and 23% from
that's
three,
yeah,
which is
that is a
it
step
is
up from where he
yeah,
was
it is a
at.
legitimate improvement by like 10 plus percent in both of those
Yeah.
regards.
Yep. He went 7 straight games without scoring, which was like one of the longest streaks in NBA history. But moving on to the Lauri Markkanen Award, which goes to the player that you didn't expect to be very good. You had very low expectations for, but now they're looking like a pretty good player. I, for one, did not think Lauri Markkanen was going to be good when he came into the league. I was flabbergasted when he was the seventh overall pick, I believe it was. So, obviously he had a pretty slow start to his
Flabbergasted.
career, really turned it around a couple years in, and now he's looking like one of the best players in the league. I mean, he's averaging 30. So, shout out to Lauri Markkanen. My pick for Lauri Markkanen award this year was going to be Walker Kessler. Walker Kessler was someone that I really did not like at all
Ooh, too
when he was
soon.
coming into the league. But obviously, yeah, he had the shoulder injury. He's out for this season, so I felt like he was kind of void for this one. My choice was Ryan Rollins, the aforementioned Ryan Rollins, who is, like we said, now a full-time starter. He is basically tripling his points per game. He's up from like six and change up to about 18 a game this season. It's
Mikey.
unbelievable. Obviously, we've already talked about him a bit, but he was just someone that when he was in Washington, when he was in Golden State, like I just thought absolute fringes of the NBA, like we'll never hear from this guy again within like 2 years, he'll disappear. Falling out of the woodwork kind of thing. And basically since he's gotten to Milwaukee, he's just been a starting caliber point guard. So yeah, definitely did not have expectations for him, but he's now a guy that I really root for and I really like watching play. So the Lauri Markkanen Award, Ryan Rollins. But Mitch, where did you land?
This one might be a little bit of a slight, because I had stock in him his sophomore year, and I was like, man, this is not the jump. Like I was expecting like a bigger second year jump. And then Anthony Black in his third year
Mm,
has looked the part of what I would want to say is Orlando's starting point guard. Now, you know how many games Anthony Black has actually started?
only like five, right?
Only four.
Four.
Only four games. And the 15 games that Suggs has been back, he's started all 15. And I don't know what Orlando's I know what Orlando is doing because they're so shit at managing rotations and they're so bad at realizing that our team plays so much better when this player's on the court and then this player's not on. But the Anthony Black experiment needs to be completely busted open because seeing him, like I don't know how much I don't blame you guys for not consuming a lot of Orlando games if you haven't been watching,
They're not the
but
most entertaining watch, but I catch
no,
them often.
they are not. And like while Anthony Black has been playing like slightly more minutes than Jalen Suggs, and Jalen Suggs is still the starter, Anthony Black hasn't been closing as much, and that's the problem. Is they're still leaning on Suggs as a closer, and I get it. Having the QB1 vision that Suggs has kind of gives you a little bit more to play with in those final 5 minutes. But Anthony Black has put on probably one of the better cases to be like, hey, you should probably put a little bit more stock into me than what Suggs is potentially going to be. If you want like a really good watch, the ass whooping that they gave Philly, he was just in his bag on like hitting side steps, hitting the Ant Simon's little side shimmy,
Mm.
launch over the shoulder. He was doing all the stuff that you'd go, wow, you're doing this and you're 6'7" and you're a lead guard.
Oh,
Like, come on, man. Like, it's a bunch of stuff that I get why you want to give it to Suggs, but Anthony Black is proving that he should have just usurped him like 15 games ago.
Ooh, I don't know about usurped. Oh man.
hold the fucking phone. I
Yeah.
think I was actually having this discussion with people the other day. I think Jalen Suggs might, if you talk about pure most important players to their team and to their team's success, I think Jalen Suggs is in the top 10 in the entire league. Because Jalen Suggs, when they were without Jalen Suggs, they go from an elite defense to an okay defense, and their offense is not nearly
Yeah,
as
before you get
good
too
either.
riled up, I'm just strictly talking about starting point guards because
Yeah,
Anthony Black is also playing more minutes than him, and
yeah, I know, but
they're a better team when Anthony Black is leading their offense. But that also speaks to Banchero's on and off numbers because those are also
yeah, that's
terrible. I'm not saying Jalen Suggs should be waived from the Orlando Magic before
no, but
like
why would you? You can't start him over Suggs. That's like start.
you
No, you
definitely could
can't.
start him over
No,
Suggs. You
you really
definitely
can't.
could.
That
You
makes no
definitely
sense.
could. You definitely could start him
Hey,
over
whoa, why
Suggs.
don't we just why
So
don't we
their whole
just strike a
defensive
nice
line.
middle and we start them
No,
both? Why not? Why can't we start them both?
what's the starting?
Because then Desmond Bain plays the three and gets eaten alive.
Yeah.
Like that's
That way, you make it work. See,
he's
I'd like to strike the balance here and say that I think that an Anthony Black Suggs Bane triumvirate would be just fine. Like I think
Well,
that's
there
enough
I'm with
size.
Mitch. I don't think Desmond Bane's arms are long enough for that.
I mean Anthony Black at 6'7", I wouldn't love him guarding, all the small forwards in the league, but I think
Yeah, he could do it.
I
He's
think
skinny
combined,
though.
I think it's enough size. But I just think that Suggs
I
is
think
just
that boy is 190 soaking wet. That'd be
yeah,
a
no, that's
hard.
fair. That's fair. It wouldn't be the best,
I don't know.
but
I like okay, sure. So hold on. I'll reel it back. Jalen Suggs not having the best year of his career, I would disagree with that. I would say that
Okay.
so his efficiency's ticked down slightly, other than like from the short mid range. Like I don't think he'll ever be a 39% 3-point shooter. Like that was I think that's just like a like he had that on 5 attempts
Yeah.
in 2023. I don't think he's going to get back there. If he gets to 34, 5, like I think that's more like, keeps the defense honest. I think the biggest, and this is the weirdest thing.
Okay,
I
wait.
think
So
the what?
is it purely, so it's the shooting aspect is why you'd be starting Black?
No, I've been
Okay.
watching enough Anthony Black to say that he should be getting the closing 5 minutes as the point
Okay.
guard, and the decisions he's making lead to better possessions.
Hmm.
But Orlando as a whole has so many more problems than just Suggs or
Yeah.
Anthony
You
Black.
see, but if you're talking about closing, then I actually do think I would go with like what Dion said, where I think I'd probably run those three depending on the game,
Yeah.
unless Black or Suggs are. But I just think purely in terms of starting, I feel like not starting Suggs is like if the Suns were to start Dylan Brooks right now. Like
That's
that's kind
actually where I was gonna go. I think Suggs has like some Dylan Brooks to him, to where like I probably lean towards more Nate's side of the argument because I just think he does have that kind of like innate value to this team. Like they just seem to just everything just seems to
Yeah.
make a lot more sense with Suggs on the
I
he's
mean,
floor.
also
he started every single game, and my point is that Anthony Black, in the minutes that he gets, Orlando looks more like you said, the aura and like passion behind them looks better with Suggs, but they play better basketball
no,
with Anthony Black. So
Anthony
like,
Suggs or Anthony Suggs. I think Anthony Black is 100% more of a point guard. Like if I want
yeah,
a someone to run my offense, Anthony Black is that guy, and I think you definitely should be getting more opportunities. And I've been glad to see he has been, except for that game against the Knicks where he just went off for like 27 for no reason. Yeah, I think just Jalen Suggs is. I was more so just defending, so I just wanted to make sure we weren't diminishing Suggs. I got too hot for a second, but
Yeah, this is something I'll be looking out for now, Mitch, because I've liked, the bits and pieces I've seen of Black, but now I'm really gonna be looking for like, is he actually the better guy to run Orlando's offense than Suggs?
the
Because
thing
I'm
is,
a huge Suggs
Suggs.
guy myself as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's not to diminish Suggs. Just
Mm.
when Suggs is in charge of orchestrating an offense,
it's
he
hard.
looks more like a combo guard. He
Yeah.
does not look like a guy who has the inklings of like, okay, I see the pass before the pass. He sees Franz coming off of a pin down and feeds it to him, but he doesn't see like a Wendell Carter Jr. backdoor slip. Like
Mm.
there's levels to like Anthony Black seeing the game evolve a step ahead of Jalen Suggs that I know this sounds crazy. I almost kind of want to run that 3-man lineup and then just hope that the defense shores itself
Right.
up because Anthony Black would get Suggs into those spots where he could actually be effective. Suggs is best. Okay, so last year before he went down, his best moments were when he was kind of inkling off of like another breakdown on the right side of the wing and he came in almost at like a parallel dunker spot, got the ball and finished at the rim. His at the rim finishing, shout out Suggs. All right. I've never seen a man be so taut and tight at 6'5" and then have so much like weird wiggle once he actually gets up there because you don't expect him to be able to hit like the Mac McClung wraparound, but he
Mm.
does. And
Yeah.
it's weird to see out of a guy like Suggs who I would attribute more to his actual bag as like less finesse and more just the fact that he's a 6'5" strong guard.
Right.
But like when he gets airborne, it's like he gets an extra little mini jump of wiggle. And I don't
Right.
know whether to say that that's like, you know, some Gonzaga boys have that and some
Mm.
don't, but
Calling it the Mac McClung lay is crazy. I know
I
exactly
mean,
what you meant, but that's just
it's
so
the
funny.
one. It's where the defender hits
I
you
know.
and you're still
Yeah,
Yeah,
able
I
to
know
do like
exactly the
yeah.
yeah.
one, but
No.
it's just crazy to use Mac McClung as the example. But
I
it
don't
works.
know.
It works.
Like
It
if I
works.
call it
It
like
absolutely
the
works.
like
No,
it's
Shout
that
out
was
Max.
probably the best name to give it. It's just so funny to have a movie
Shout
named
out
after
Mac
McClung.
McClung for having some of the worst minutes of any NBA player I've seen this season, even though it was, I think, probably 4 total minutes
Well,
in
shout out to
one
you. Yeah,
NBA
shout out to
Cup
you for
game.
watching the Pacers during that stretch of the season.
Yeah, I watched it because I was interested to see Mac McClung. I saw that he was in the game. I was like, oh shit, Mac McClung's on. So I flipped on wherever, or I turned the sound on for that game. And I think he went flying out of bounds, like through the ball. It was some bullshit that I was just like, what the fuck? And he got like subbed
He
out.
was cut shortly after. Then they brought in
Yeah.
Monte Morris. He also got cut shortly after. But
Shout out Mac McClung for the middle school and high school or
shut
whatever.
up, Mac McClung. Where across 4 years he played 9 total NBA games.
Nah, but
Three
Jeez.
games for every dunk contest he won.
The Mac McClung lunch table conversations and highlight sharing was a time in my life.
Well, speaking of small NBA guards that have very short-lived careers, next up we have the Devonte Graham Award.
Ah,
Goes
yes,
to-
I don't get to give mine.
Oh, did we skip? I'm sorry, we skipped right. I'm sorry, my bad. I just saw the transition opportunity. I had to take it. But yeah, go ahead. Go ahead with yours. I'm sorry.
Um, so initially, I kind of just completely misunderstood what this award meant entirely. I thought we were talking. I didn't realize that we were talking about players like that were this season became good. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like But so originally I picked DeAndre Ayton because I thought he was going to be bad coming into this season, and he's
Um,
been a lot better. But this season, the guy who I have been most impressed by that I didn't even think would be an NBA player, to be honest with you, is Colin Gillespie or Gillespie, whatever it
ooh,
says.
good pick. Good pick. I like
Am I
that.
saying it? Is it Gillespie or Gillespie? I've
It's
heard both. And
Gillespie.
Gillespie, yeah, okay. Why did someone call him Gillespie? Like that's a pretty common name. And some okay. Anyways, Colin Gillespie's been arguably the best backup point guard in all of basketball this season. He's averaging 12, 5, and 4 for the people that box score watch. But if you're actually watching the games, this guy has been great on the ball. He's been one of the most efficient off-ball shooters on the team. His ability to just he's not Steph Curry, obviously, but he's constantly moving. Like you'll never see Colin Gillespie just sitting in one spot unless it's the corner to spot up. But he gets his guys involved. He plays solid enough defense. He just has the athleticism that I guess I didn't think he would have for the NBA. He's not an athletic freak by
Because he
any
looks
means.
like an accountant. That's
Yeah,
why. He looks like he
yeah.
does taxes.
Um, I thought he'd be a Ryan Arcidiacono. Like that is what I
Mm.
thought he would be. Maybe
Yep.
I just saw a white guy with nice hair from Villanova,
Yeah,
and I
right.
said, "Bang, Ryan Arcidiacono." But Gillespie is a legit rotation. He's like a Ty Jerome, like better Ty Jerome from last year is what Gillespie's
Ooh,
been.
wow.
Who gave him the name Villain Jr.?
I was waiting for my friend
Villain?
to say
Who
that.
the
Dylan
fuck gave
Jr.
him? I want to hear what media presence said Colin Gillespie Villain Jr. Who's Villain Senior? Who the fuck? Like,
Oh,
what
well,
is going on?
Like Dylan Brooks. Did Dylan Brooks give him the nickname?
I'm trying to look this up.
Because if Dylan
Maybe
Brooks called him Junior, that might be why. Because they called Dylan the villain.
it would
Yes,
be
it is. Yeah, yeah,
crazy.
yeah. Okay, I'm reading from
That is
Arizona Sports. Yeah,
hilarious.
Suns Colin Gillespie reveals origins of Villain Jr. Moniker from Dylan Brooks.
Oh, okay. Bang! Look at me knowing ball like that.
Yeah, well done. Wait, thinking off the top of your head.
I don't
Um,
know anything about basketball.
no, that's a really good pick though. Yeah, one thing I really like about Gillespie is that he's like keeping a dying breed alive. Of like he has some of that like natural point guardness to
He
him.
he does, but he
That
also
is
has the scoring chops that you can clearly see when he needs to
Right.
score the ball, or he's like, I need to get some juice for this bench unit. The dude
But
can go
he's
get
the
a
type of guy
bucket.
that understands like, okay, Devin Booker hasn't touched it in 3 possessions. Let me get him a good look, or like,
Yeah,
let me feed Mark Williams for a quick post touch. Like he just kind of has that like Chris Paul esqueness to him of like knowing
that's
how to run an offense, which like not many guards have left.
that's I think also partly what I've been most surprised on is I didn't think he'd be able to do that at an NBA level. I thought
Right.
he'd be a combo guard, if like a short combo guard, if anything, if he ever got to be a rotation player. That dude's not just a rotation player. He's like their sixth man, probably going to be in the sixth man of the year race if he keeps this up. And he has really good efficiency. He's also a really good rebounding guard for his size. Like you wouldn't expect it or care usually from a
he's a
guy.
scrappy motherfucker
Yeah,
down
he
there.
he he gets the 30-70 balls or like the 40-60 balls. He's getting his body is on the line every single time. And I think I just appreciate that type of player. He really has no inherent flaws where I look at his game and I go, he can give you a bit of everything, and he's a really solid like actual point guard, which we don't have much of.
100%. Yeah. But yeah, going the opposite direction, the Devonte Graham Award, as I said, a player that, off to maybe a hot start this season, but you're just not a believer that's going to last. Devonte Graham famously in his second season in the league went on a tear in the first half of the season, got himself into most improved player conversations, cooled off towards the end of the year, ended up, I believe, coming in second place for the award. And, he got a contract as a result. And obviously, not much in terms of production from that day forward. So the Devonte Graham Award for a player that on a hot start you don't expect to last. Nate, you can get it started this time since I almost skipped you last
I
time.
didn't have a great answer for this. I'll be honest with you. I kind of picked a name out of a hat or a guy that I've seen that has been shooting the ball better than I expect him to shoot the ball or better than
Mm-hmm.
I've ever seen. I picked Vit Krejci, which is probably the most
Ew.
random
Okay,
pick
all
you
right.
could probably have for this award. He's just been shooting the ball ridiculous, and every time I watch him, I'm like, there's no way he can keep shooting like this, and he has been. But I think eventually it's just not going to. It's going to come down to at a point, and he doesn't offer you a whole lot other than his shooting. I mean, he can handle it a little bit. He's an okay defender, I guess. Like, I wouldn't call him a good defender. He's just been shooting the absolute lights. He's shooting 52,
He's got a
47.
70% effective field goal percentage. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
There's no way that shit continues. So I just saw that and I was like, okay, Vic Krejci's gonna come down to earth at some point.
That's fair.
Because yeah, every time I watch the Hawks, this dude's making every single shot. It's got to stop eventually.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been a good shooter. He's 41% from his career, but yeah, 48% this season on a career high
Shooting
5.5
53 from
attempts.
the
Like
field, like the dude.
yeah, I just don't know if it's gonna last. 69% on twos. I don't know Vic Krejci, but yeah, he's been really good. He's been a
Yeah,
really
he's
nice
been good. Like
addition to
shout out
like
Vic
his depth.
Krejci. I didn't have a great pick for this award, so I was like, sorry, Vit, I don't think you're gonna last. You'll be
Yeah,
good. You're good, but
that's a fair choice. He'll probably come back down to earth towards that like 42, 43%. But yeah, he's been a really nice addition. Like Atlanta's had surprisingly really good depth, and he's a
all
big
right.
part
Stop
of it.
giving him props. This is supposed to be the mean
You're right. You're
award.
right. You're right. He's gonna fall off a cliff. He sucks. He sucks.
Yeah, he's
Anyway,
horrible.
yeah. Mitch, who is your pick for the Devontae Graham Award?
See, I was gonna go east, but now I think I'm gonna fuck you up and go west.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna say Austin Reeves.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Interesting.
going to say that so initially my thought process was like, okay, he's filling the stopgap and the obvious usage gap that was left with LeBron going out. But do I think that he's a consistent 30 game scorer? Obviously fucking not.
Hmm.
Do I think that he's an all NBA caliber player now? I've actually come around and probably he is a third team caliber player, I think.
Hmm.
Do I believe that this man at some point in this season is going like what if I read like okay, so Dallas, he dropped 38 and he had like 80% from the field, 75% from three. That was just a masterclass of a game. But the degree of difficulty on the shots that he's been taking all season,
Mhm.
when are they going to stop falling? Because if I'm being honest, like these are not looks that you go, oh, Austin Reeves just did his 45-degree rise up three where LeBron fed it to him from cross court. No, Austin Reeves is pulling out like the Kyrie bag, and he's like, I don't care if I didn't create any space. I'm pulling this shit anyway. I don't care if you're draped over my waist. I'm going reverse with the left hand. Austin Reeves is doing things that you just a single tear to brings to your eye if you are a fan of white American NBA players, all right? Because Austin Reeves, he is that dog right now. He hilariously plays with another white boy, not white American, but Luca and him as a duo. If you want to talk about the expectations I had, they have smashed it by 400%. I did not expect Austin Reeves to be in this air of majesty. I did not expect the Lakers to be a top three seed. I did not expect any of the things that are transpiring with the Lakers. DeAndre Ayton having a resurgence, I guess, after I said that this man's career was done. I will apologize for that take. I said if Luca can't fix him, then no one can. Well, I guess Luka Doncic has solved the thing that Chris Paul couldn't. There, I said it. Luca did something that Chris Paul couldn't. He couldn't feed a big man enough, I guess, because DeAndre Ayton looks like a competent basketball player
Well,
now.
let's see.
Yeah,
Chris
I
Paul
gotta.
did take him to the finals. Let's see. Let's let it play out here.
I would say I agree with you on the fact that I was also wrong about Aiden, but I will disagree on the fact that he did something that Chris Paul didn't because he still was better with Chris Paul so far, in my opinion.
He's looked, I'll say this, he's looked less like a get you in your spots guy than he was with Chris Paul because Chris Paul literally was like funnel, 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 and like and in this instance, Aiton is more like okay, Luca gave me the ball in a spot where I kind of have to do a little bit of work, and he's been making it happen, but at the same time, like Chris Paul literally was like your layup, sir.
Yeah,
Here
literally.
you go. Like,
No, that's true. But yeah, I think back to Reeves though, like career highs across the board. It's hard to imagine that he sustained like the 65% from two has just been ridiculous. Like I just yeah, I'm with you. I
Especially
don't know
with
that it's gonna sustain.
LeBorg coming back and stealing some of those assists and rebounds, those numbers are going to go down.
Yeah, just
And
that
yeah,
alone, yeah, the numbers should tick down, but just the efficiency with which he's playing, and not even
but
just efficiency in terms of shooting, like
yeah. Well,
yeah.
that's like what Mitch just said. Eventually, he's going to stop shooting these crazy, ridiculous fadeaway, off balance, one-legged,
Mhm.
pants off shots that are just going in at a ridiculous rate. He's definitely better than he was, and I think I might even go as hard as say like I think he could be a second team All NBA guy if the Lakers are that good, because I still could see him averaging like the 26, 7, and 6 or wherever it is. Maybe second team's a reach, but Austin Reeves, I think firmly at this point is an All NBA level player.
Man, I gotta see it more. He's played what 16 games or whatever, 15 games.
But I
All
saw it last
NBA?
season
Can he make the
too.
All-Star team first? First, we're talking All NBA.
No, we don't really have to
Dion,
in this
Dion,
day and age.
with all due respect, dog. It's a big 2025, all right?
Yeah,
We
I
see
get it.
big number, we see top seed, you getting up there, all right? That's
I
how this
guess so,
works.
but like I'm not. I mean, I'm not even having All
I
NBA
almost
season,
like
so.
as of right now, I almost put him on my second team.
Oh my goodness. Well, spoiler alert, we're gonna do some All NBA stuff on the next episode, so we'll see where you guys shake out on that one. But my God, I mean, I'll have to go through the exercise and see where he really shakes out.
All right,
But
well, who's yours then? Tell us, sir.
all right, yeah. So my Devontae Graham Award winner, I got two here because like the one I'm gonna
No,
give you
well,
guys, I don't
you
feel
pick
that great
one.
about, but I'm gonna go with Josh Okogie. as much as I've loved Josh Okogie this season, I mean, he's still shooting well over 40% from deep. I just don't know if that's going to sustain. And I just think that as Reed Shepard continues to emerge here, he's been like pretty much everything that they could have hoped that he'd be, like from the moment Fred VanVleet went down.
And
So
then
I
that
just think
game,
that Okogie's minutes are going to continue to trend down just a little bit. And, we were really high on him coming into the season, made a post about him. He was a great part of their like early season run, but I think he's going to come back down to earth and be like kind of fade more into like a rotation guy. I can tell you guys are feeling very uninspired by that
I say
pick.
it right now. I don't like your answer. I
Yeah,
don't like. I don't
I
like. I
didn't
don't.
love it either. I didn't
Yeah.
love it. I did have a
Who's
backup.
your backup?
My backup, in spirit of the award, I have another Charlotte Hornets guard, and it is one Sion James. Just because he's
You're a
also
bitch.
shooting
You're
over
a bitch.
41% from deep. He is sixth,
Fucking.
sixth among all rookies in terms of total minutes played. So he's just getting a ton of opportunity in comparison to the rest of his draft class. So he's been fantastic. Like he's been yet another great draft pick for the Hornets this summer. But I just like I didn't feel like I had a great choice for this, and I feel like he just kind of stood out as someone that he's playing a lot right now, and I just don't know that like over the course of his career that this is necessarily who he is. But yeah,
Bears.
not the most exciting picks in the world.
I
I'm
would
Yeah,
have
interesting.
even given you saying like Scotty is not going to shoot this well from three for the whole year. I
okay,
would have even given you that,
interesting. Yeah,
but
I
you
wasn't gonna
didn't
dip.
go
I wasn't
there.
gonna dip into the anti-Scotty territory. I didn't want to do that, but
I almost put Maxi, but I didn't because I'm already
yeah,
starting
no,
to
I'm
see him
still
be.
not. I'm
Well,
still like
I'm
I had
already
him on the
starting to
MVP.
see. He's clearly very good, but he's also clearly being overextended to all hell,
Yeah,
and
that's what
he's
I mean.
starting
I'm
to
just
already.
40 minutes a
We're
game.
yeah,
already
that's what I
starting to
mean, dude.
see.
He's
We're
playing
already
more than
starting to.
anyone.
We're already starting to see the effects of it. Like if you look at his past week, his averages are way down. He's averaging like 23 and a half or 24, 25
Yeah,
last week.
I expect him to come back down to earth. I don't
He's
think he's
got
a
the
three point
Gatorade
shooter.
symbol on the entire fucking game,
Yeah,
man.
I'm not even mad at him. Like it's not his fault he's being given an Allen Iverson-esque workload.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Um, yeah, so I think he'll come back to earth. I'm not like completely sold on him yet. I feel like people have been talking about him as like, all NBA, top whatever guard in the
Yeah, like
league.
because
Like
I was hashing out that list, and I really had an issue putting Maxi on it, but I also had an issue not having him on it. So
that's quite the dilemma there. All right, fellas, let's wrap this one up. I think we're all good to go. Move on to the next award, which is the 2019 Brooklyn Nets Award, which goes to the team that you had very little expectations for coming into the season, but now you see them actually making a playoff team. Obviously, that infamous, famous, however you want to call it, 2018-19 Brooklyn Nets team
I,
with the bench squad, the bench mob, a lot of fun, snuck into the playoffs. Well, it was a very short-lived high there, but it was a fun
no,
time
I
to
don't
watch.
know. Jared Dudley versus Ben Simmons first round matchup lives on in
That
infamy.
was absolute cinema. One of the greatest first round series of all time. Not really, but a fun team nonetheless. And my pick this year is going to be the aforementioned Phoenix Suns.
Yeah,
Just for,
I'm joining you. I was gonna say we're all gonna pick the Suns. I think.
is that your pick as well, Mitch?
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Let's
Well,
talk about
I
it
feel like
quickly.
we've talked enough about the Suns, so I think we can just like give Mitch the platform. To be honest,
Yeah, I mean, just a quick 60 seconds. I mean, they're 12th on offense, 10th on defense. Both better marks than I expected them to be. They're currently the sixth
they're
seed.
just solid.
They're just a very solid team. Yeah, they're 12 and 8 right now. They're going up against Denver. Should be tipping off here shortly if it hasn't already.
It's like
Um,
16-14. Where have you been?
Oh, sorry. I didn't know what time the game started. I wasn't sure, but yeah, no, they've just been a very, very solid team, like you said, Nate. And it's just been, very nice to watch because obviously they were what, a 35 win team last year, if I'm not mistaken. It was hard to see them getting better, but obviously, clearly they've improved. So shout
Yeah,
out to the
everyone kind
Suns.
of wrote them off and was like, yeah, they're whatever. You play into non-playoff team, and they've actually been better somehow with, or not somehow, I guess, getting rid of all the drama made them better. And it's not even just because like Booker's playing crazy. I actually think Booker's not playing as well as I would have thought he'd have to for them to be this good at
Oh,
this
yeah,
point.
exactly. Yeah. So shout out to the Suns. But yeah, we don't got to harp on it too much. Mitch, what was your pick?
My pick was actually the Sixers. I had
Oh.
zero faith in this team, regardless of health, regardless of whatever they're going to glamorously call their big three. I everything about this Sixers squad was going to be like, oh man, can't wait for Father Time to keep taking pot shots at Paul George and just slowly decay at whatever left of the 18 a game he's going to give you.
Mhm.
But and again, Maxi playing 40 minutes. The wear and tear is going to be there. Obviously, by game 50, we'll see how this team shakes up. But the fact that they're not sitting in the muck of like the Hornets, Nets, Pacers, Bucks kind of echelon, the fact that they are only one game back. Well, I mean, technically two because I don't. Yeah, okay. They're 2 games back away from being the eighth seed, so it's or the seventh seed. So it's interesting to see how the bottom of the East is shaking up. I could have took a cop out answer and said Detroit because I did not. There's no way in hell at any point could I have predicted Detroit to be well ahead of teams like the Knicks, the Cavs, like just solely in the first seed. And I know we're only 20 games in, but would never have predicted this. If you gave me the odds of like, you bet $100 and I'll give you 100 grand if by November 30th Detroit's the first seed, I'd literally be like, well, that $100 could get me, you know, so many orders of Five Guys, two whole trips to Five Guys.
I
Why
was
would
gonna
I
say so many. I don't know. Yeah.
two whole
Dude,
trips to Five
you
Guys?
go to Five Guys, you need $30 to get a water cup.
Yeah, I don't understand. Like it's good food, but I just don't
No,
understand
well, hold on.
what is the
But
point?
Little
wait,
Five Guys
wait,
tangent.
wait. You cannot say it's good food, but it is delicious.
It's
It's
not
not
hold on.
$18 for a burger
No,
delicious.
but that's the issue is that it is, and that's why I'm willing to pay it once.
Sorry. So you would
No.
pay $13 for a Big Mac, but you won't pay
Whoa, whoa,
$19 for
whoa,
That's the
whoa,
issue is that the
whoa.
burger market's just completely inflated as is.
where there's a bubble, it's gonna pop. We need to get rid of Arby's. All
Let me
right.
just say for the record, I'm not paying $13 for a Big Mac to be clear. And I'm also not paying $18 for Five Guys.
All right, Dion's just gonna go buy himself frozen mac and cheese and call it a night.
You sad motherfucker. Where's the joy in your life? Where's the whimsy, bro?
I think really quick tangent on Five Guys. They're the best burger in my opinion out of like the fast food chains or whatever. Like I will not eat like McDonald's or Burger King burgers. Like hell no.
No,
At
no,
least
yeah.
it's real like meat. I've never had like In-N-Out or Whataburger, but I imagine it's
They're
somewhat
not.
on.
They're also not. Whatever. I've had both. Like
Like
they're
I imagine
good.
they're
What are you
good, but
fucking
like
ego from Ratatouille?
It's
so
You're
from
like,
my
"None of these
food, bro.
burgers."
Like I'm not
no,
getting
from
hyped
my
over fast
experience
food.
though, like Five Guys is better than most fast food. Like if I'm gonna
That's
get
fair.
like
That's
fast
fair.
food, I'm gonna spend the extra few bucks and at least get a good quality burger from Five Guys. Because a double bacon cheeseburger from Five Guys is one of like if before I die, I need one of those on my deathbed.
Mm.
I need a Five Guys double bacon cheeseburger on my fucking plate
Yeah, you're
in my
definitely.
mouth.
Yeah,
You
I
know
got
what, Dion? You know what? You know what? You
What's
know what,
what?
Dion?
What do we got? What do we got? Oh boy, he's
Right.
leaving the room. Oh god.
How are you, Dion?
I'm doing all right. I'm very curious to see what Mitch
I have
comes
no
back
idea
with.
where
I
he's
met
going.
probably a receipt
He's
from
gonna come back with a
Five Guys.
DIY pipe bomb.
No. You know what? You know what? Okay. Do you know what these are? You know what these are?
They're burger buns.
Yeah, they're burger buns. Guess how much these cost? Yeah.
In Canadian dollars, probably like 6 schmeckles.
So say $5.
Schmeckles?
Say $5 for the buns, okay?
Sure, sure.
And then what's this? What's this?
He's got all the ingredients ready to go.
What's
That is
this?
ground
What's this?
beef. That is
Yeah, it's
ground
premium
beef. It's
ground
probably
beef.
ran you about 9.50.
So right there, just these two things, we're looking at nearly $15, right? For me to take my own hard-earned
Yeah, but how many
labor.
burgers are you making with it? That's like at least 4
That's
burgers.
facts.
Listen,
Yeah, you're getting like
listen,
six burgers
and listen,
out of that.
and listen, and all those 6 burgers are gonna taste like shit compared to one Five Guys burger. All
Oh,
right.
To be
well, that
honest,
I can argue
hold
with
on.
it,
Is
yeah.
that more of a knock
Fuck
on
you.
your cooking, or is that a knock on, or is that a like a?
I'm a great cook. All right?
Okay.
And I'm
How-
a great cook.
okay, but if you're a cook, then your burgers will still be good. They're just like not Five Guys quality. And sometimes you need the clog up of the arteries.
I leave Five Guys feeling like I just got blown. All right. That's how good Five Guys burgers are.
You're
When
really-
Five Guys or a blowjob right now?
Would you rather give
blowjob
up a
from Five
blowjob?
Guys.
Do I get to still eat the peanuts while it's happening? Is the question. I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is
Hey,
pretty
guy
good.
num-
This is
guy
pretty
number-
good.
Guy number 4, a little to the left.
Oh, jeez.
Number
All
3,
right.
you're slacking. I can feel it. You're
Number
phoning
3,
it
I'm
in.
feeling some teeth.
We're getting way off the rails. Let's reel it in. That's enough Five Guys. I will say you guys are making quite the case. I might have to check it back out again. It's been a while since I tapped in some Five
I'm
Guys.
gonna
but
get Five Guys tomorrow now.
I might have to. I might have
Okay.
to.
Yeah,
But
I'm
my
craving.
goodness.
I don't- Okay, we're done then for the awards. No, that's it.
Yeah, the only thing we had left, we had the Kendrick Perkins Award for the worst take that you've heard all year.
Oh, the worst take.
I'll
Yeah.
go ahead and out myself. I picked for this one. I picked none other than Dion Sherman himself for picking Anthony Davis for Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know what the hell overcame me to think that there was any chance that that was going to happen. But yeah, that was a disaster pick. I didn't have a great choice for this, so I figured I would just point the finger at myself.
I think you're a narcissistic prick. You're an
Fair enough.
asshole. You have a
Okay.
huge ego.
Yeah, well, hey,
You should
What was
probably
your
go
pick?
play in traffic.
what was your pick, Nate?
This was from Theo Pinson on Theo Pinson's podcast. And
That's
I think
crazy.
this should be a prime example of why when NBA players or players say that media members or so-and-so and fans shouldn't have opinions, neither should a lot of the players because Theo Pinson said this is after the beginning of the season. Like, I think like 10 games in or so. I don't have the exact bookmark. I have the quote or I know what he said. He said right now the Rockets should trade Alperen Şengün and Amen Thompson for Kyrie Irving.
Oh, jeez. He said that in season. I mean, there
In
was never a point where
after
he mentioned that.
Şengün's shooting 47% from three or whatever it was.
What? Like,
Hmm.
So you're telling me that after Şengün is shooting the best he's ever shot from three, he's looking like baby Jokic. The Rockets are one of the best teams in the NBA. He's telling me that I should go take my two best young players, Amen Thompson and Alperen Şengün, and go trade them for a 34-year-old Kyrie post ACL surgery. That sounds like an awesome idea, Theo Pinson. Someone should hire you right away.
former Kyrie teammate Theo Pinson. Yeah, I did not come across that take. That one did not bless my timeline.
Hmm.
I'm frozen again.
Not sure that the Rockets would even pick up the phone for one of those two guys for Kyrie.
Dude,
I don't know what we're
Tim
really
Furtada or whoever is making the calls for the
Tillman
Rockets,
Fertitta.
Tillman Fertitta, he picks up the phone, he fucking lets one rip, and he hangs up.
Yeah,
I would listen to Fred VanVleet for Kyrie. I
sure,
might,
sure, yeah,
I
no
might
problem.
consider that.
But
I'd
like,
be
what
like,
do we?
throw in Lively and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'm confused by that one. I can't even
That might
find
be
the
just like
angle
one of the
to.
actual worst. And they're like, I don't know if I'm saying no to that right away. And then they're all talking about it. They're like, I think I got to do that. I think I got to do that. I'm like,
It's one thing to be like one of those former players on a podcast, but there's nothing worse than that than like the yes men that they have on their show with them.
and the fact that it's Theo Pinson, who was
Dude,
literally a cheerleader for his whole career.
Yeah.
one of the guys on Wendy's is exactly that, where he goes, "Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, yeah. You know what? You know what? That makes perfect sense." And I'm always like, "Oh, dude, shut up." He could say like, "You know what? I think they should just waive Wemby." And he goes, "Yeah, you know what? That I can see.
Wendy
I
would
can see the
never
vision."
say that. Wendy is the
No,
Wendy
he wouldn't.
whisperer. He
He
would never do
he he has Wendy so far in his esophagus. It's crazy.
that. Oh my god.
Anyways, I think that beats out my bad take. Not gonna lie.
Esophagus is
What
word
do
of
you
the
got?
day.
What do you got, Mitch?
So my bad take comes back from all the way September 27th to be exact. When we did our way too early award picks, and it's when you chose Anthony Davis for Defensive Player of the Year award. You dumb motherfucker. Anything,
Well done.
anything Dallas related,
Yeah.
like prior to the season, I'll give you an asterisk with because like we had no idea what the fuck they were gonna do.
No, but
But
I
hold
for
on,
whatever
hold on,
reason-
hold on, hold on. But to bet on Anthony Davis, I will not give you an asterisk for because we know who he is as a player.
It was
He's
a
made
hook.
of glass. He's the guy that wakes up and breaks both his arms and both of his legs every day, all right? He's not going to win Defensive Player of the Year. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
it
sorry you
was
had
really
genuine belief in that.
For some reason, the last 3 weeks of like leading into the season, I like allowed myself to be sold on the Mavericks. I'm blaming Nate because Nate was big on the Mavericks in the middle of last summer.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, you were talking. Yeah, the little wink. Yeah, I don't know. The last 3 weeks, I was like, no, they're not going to be that bad. I'm being too low on them, and then sure enough, they're disasters.
No,
So
they stink.
yeah, they're pretty bad.
Cooper
And then we'll
Flight is
wrap
like
up
the
here.
only redeeming thing about that franchise right now.
Yeah, we'll wrap this up with just mentioning quickly our favorite game of the season, and I'll go last because I kind of have like a cop out answer, to be honest.
Mine's not funny. I don't know. Like to be honest, I'm bad at quoting regular season games because I don't really keep them in my head for too long. I'll say the Steph 49-point game against Wemby and the Warriors because that was really fun down the stretch. Wemby had some like a crazy block off the glass, and it went back and forth. Steph was 31 in the second half, and it was a fun game seeing Steph versus Wemby, the old generation to the new. That's my favorite game so far of the season. Again, it's
That's a good
not
choice.
some crazy awesome pick or something.
No, I
Because...
think that's a very good choice. It was a
All
very
right, thank
entertaining game.
you, thank you.
The star showed out. Yeah, it was a good game. Mitch, what was your pick?
So I actually have three.
Oh,
I've got the Halloween game against the Cavs, October 31st, where we
Ooh.
won 112,
Oh,
101. And then I have the November 13th game against the Cavs, where we won 126, 113. And then I have the November 24th game against the Cavs, where we
Wow.
won 110 to 99. What's that? A 3-0 sweep of the fucking recollection of the Cavs? Evan Mobley getting outplayed in all three games by Scotty Barnes. That's what we like to see right there. That's what we like to see.
Although I will have a new favorite game after Sunday, November 30th.
After this motherfucker, I'm gonna kill him. I swear to God. I made the mistake of saying a voodoo curse out loud last time. I'll just say I'm looking forward to the Knicks and the Raptors playing.
You can smear it all on my face if you want once if they win, but
Con Knuppel impregnated our defense tonight, so I'm just gonna say, can't wait for the Knicks and the Raptors to play. It'll be a good ball game.
That'll be fun.
I know for sure how we're starting off Monday's episode. That is for sure. I guess it'll be Tuesday's episode when it comes out, but I know how we'll kick off next episode.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Cavs Celtics because that's the matchup everyone wanted this year.
Oh, all right. All right, that was a stray for no reason. My favorite game, like I said, kind of a cop out answer, but I'm going with opening night, OKC versus
Oh,
Houston. Yeah, I get it.
shut
I just think,
up.
like the excitement about obviously the start of the season, but then like NBC, like their first broadcast of the year was so electric. Like the insights to excellence thing with MJ, like was disappointing, I will say, but there was a lot of build up to it, and the first one was fun.
Have we seen
Um,
anything of that since?
it's literally just the same, like it's just
Oh
clipped
no,
from
it's the
like the
same. It's
same
clipped from the
interview.
same 2 hour, 3 hour interview, and
Yeah, I don't know. Zach Lowe started a thing called Insights to Mediocrity, kind
yeah,
of like making fun of that. Yeah, it's been very disappointing. I had very high hopes.
he what the hell did he made a? Oh, he was doing the how to tie a tie, and he was like saying if you tie all your ties pre-tie or you keep all your ties pre-tied before games or anything, it's like you really I actually do that
Insights
shit.
to excellence.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I
I
I
was
actually
hoping
do.
to
might
get like some live MJ content, like some halftime analysis, but we'll see.
I might get some crazy hate for this, and I don't care if anybody just like I like if you disagree with me, go ahead. But seeing content that involves Michael Jordan versus seeing what somebody had clearly written a script for him in The Last Dance, like him he was so much more eloquent when somebody has words written for him in front of
Yeah.
him because when it's like media that somebody just put a camera in front of his face and he goes, and if you clean your left ear before your right ear, you'll be able to hear better. And it's like, what are you rambling about, old man? What are you talking about? It's not entertaining. It's just,
I'll
it's
say
not.
that's the one miss really so far has been the
Yeah.
Michael Jordan stuff. It's been pretty
Yeah, that
shit.
part has not been great. But I
I
thought
thought the
NBC coming back was
greatest
awesome.
basketball player of all time would have some crazy insight to be like, this is the path to greatness that
Well,
you need to do
clearly
these
not
things.
based on his, general manager history.
And then he just
Well, and then
goes, I'm him. And you're like,
well,
okay, thanks,
then
man.
you just
Appreciate it.
you zoom into like an image, like an X-ray image of his brain. There's just a monkey with symbols going.
Like that scene from Jimmy Neutron.
It's like Tony Kukoc, Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and you're like, thanks, man.
So yeah,
Appreciate
like
those
the like
steps.
round ball rock is like the only thing going on
There's
there.
just like gas, like fumes emitting from his ears, from his brain.
Yeah, no, that has
Oh,
definitely been the one
also,
downside, but
before we get out of here, though, because we were talking about you just mentioned the Thunder or whatever, I just wanted to give them a shout as also like the team that I thought would maybe miss the playoffs, and they've actually been a really solid team that'll
for
probably
sure, for
make
sure. Yeah, they've
make
caught a
it.
lot of people off guard with their hot start
Yeah.
to the season for sure. But yeah, that'll wrap us up for this episode that has been the fake 1 month in NBA awards. Thanks to everyone for listening. Make sure to subscribe to the pod to help us grow, and check us out on all social media as well at 2for1hoops.
Mitch is
Uh,
starting an OnlyFans also, so go subscribe to that.
I thought that you were gonna say we were buying Mitch one of those drink machines so that he can test out more drink
Dude, I
combinations.
don't know
Oh
what
yeah,
I
we're
was thinking.
dude.
To give everybody some insight, Mello Yellow is a great soda. I love Mello Yellow. And these soda machines at Wendy's have like you can add whatever flavor. And pineapple was staring me right in the face. So I clicked the button and it started like pouring out. And then a nice animation played. And it was like a snowflake and a Christmas tree. And it was like, try cranberry. And my brain, who it's so eaten alive by the subliminal messaging of our society that I literally went, cranberry sounds delicious. Stopped pouring the pineapple and shoved 4 shots of the cranberry straight into it. I'm watching it like mix into like this vibrant pink, like weird
I'm sure it
concoction.
looked delicious.
Dude, I literally was like, this is gonna go so hard.
Yeah.
Got in my car, drove home, didn't touch it until I got home.
Oh
As I'm
man.
up the stairs, I'm cranking the Benjamin because I'm like, this is gonna taste so good. Got to the top, took a sip, and a single tear starts streaming down my eyes because it tastes like Windex and like skunk spraying me in the mouth.
Oh my
I
God.
literally was like, but cranberry juice is so good, and pineapple juice is so good. Together, they
Yeah.
taste terrible. It's like I made poison.
Yeah, I don't know. As you were telling the story pre-pod, I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, that sounds
Little
pretty good." Yeah,
cranberries,
yeah.
tart and
Like this, the
sweet.
sweetness from the pineapple, the tartness of the cranberry. Come, no, I guess not.
I should have
Okay.
drove back and like thrown it at the machine and been like, "Why did you give me those options?"
I heard too. What you said was I don't know why I thought it was really funny. You're like, I really enjoy Mellow Yellow, the superior
The
lemon lime
superior lemon
beverage.
lime beverage. Because Sprite, this is how devious they are.
I agree. I
They put Sprite and Mellow Yellow next to each other, but they gave a white ring around Sprite, and I was like, "No, that's some elitist shit." Let me click the Mellow Yellow real quick.
But yeah, now everyone knows. Do not mix pineapple juice and cranberry juice. It is not going to be good. I appreciate the experimentation, Mitch. But yeah, once again, that'll do it for this episode. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back with another episode on Tuesday. Until then, hope everyone has a great rest of their day.